Have you ever wondered how ancient civilizations managed to construct such monumental structures without modern technology? How is it possible that some of these architectural marvels remain standing after centuries, guarding secrets we still cannot unravel? Asia harbors some of the most fascinating mysteries in the world. Places where history, engineering, and legend converge in ways that challenge our current understanding. In this journey, we'll explore 5 of the most enigmatic constructions on the Asian continent, each with its own story of wonder and bewilderment. From entire cities that disappeared without a trace to rocks that seem to defy the laws of gravity. These marvels invite us to reconsider what we think we know about the past. So join me as we unravel the best-kept secrets of Asia. By the end of this journey, I guarantee you'll see ancient history in a completely different way. 1. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. The lost city of the Khmer. Imagine a city as large as Los Angeles, built over 1,000 years ago, with water systems so advanced that modern engineering would seem primitive. By comparison, that was Angkor, the capital of the Khmer Empire, and its complexity is so astonishing that historians still cannot fully explain how it was possible. The inexplicable collapse. What makes Angkor Wat truly mysterious is not just its construction, but its disappearance. The Khmer civilization, at its peak, housed approximately 1 million people. The city was equipped with irrigation systems so sophisticated that they allowed 2 or 3 harvests per year, feeding a population that rivaled the great European cities of the era. There were paved roads extending 4 miles, aqueducts that transported water with mathematical precision, and temples so ornate they caused amazement in all who beheld them. However, in just 200 years, everything collapsed. It wasn't a dramatic military invasion, nor a clearly documented natural catastrophe. Simply put, the civilization disappeared. Experts debate whether it was a combination of droughts, climate change, internal political pressure, or environmental overload. The truth is that one of the most advanced civilizations of its time vanished into the darkness of history, leaving only ruins to tell its story, engineering that defies time. But if the collapse is a mystery, the construction of Angkor Wat is almost miraculous. The stones used to build the temple complex are as smooth as polished marble, an extraordinary achievement considering the tools available at that time. Most surprisingly, these stones were placed without mortars, with nothing chemically binding them together. Yet the joints are so perfect that in many places it's practically impossible to find the cracks between blocks. The Khmer architects used mortise and tenon systems, as well as dovetail techniques, methods that allowed blocks to fit together with a precision we can only admire today. These assembly systems, commonly associated with precision carpentry, were applied to stone masonry in a way that suggests an extraordinary level of planning and mathematical knowledge. If you visit Angkor Wat today and run your hand across the joints between stones, you can barely feel the separations. It's as if the builders possessed an understanding of geometry and physics that rivals our modern knowledge. 2. The Plain of Jars, Laos. The Asian Stonehenge. In Xinjiang province, in the heart of Laos, there exists a place that seems pulled directly from an ancient science fiction novel. Imagine a vast plain where more than 250 gigantic stone jars are scattered, each measuring approximately 10 feet in height, some weighing tons. They're known as the Plain of Jars, and it's genuinely one of the most enigmatic places on the planet. The mystery of the plain. Unlike Angkor Wat, whose purpose is Vedanta, religious and administrative complexity, purpose of these enormous jars remains completely unknown. Archaeologists have proposed several theories, but none has been definitively proven. The most widespread hypothesis is that they were used as burial sites for ancient funeral rituals. Imagine ceremonies where the dead were placed in these giant vessels, perhaps as a way to prepare for the journey to the afterlife. However, not all experts agree. Some speculate they could have been food storage containers in times of scarcity, ceremonial vessels for rain rituals, or even places of refuge during times of conflict. The truth is, we simply don't know. And that uncertainty is what makes this place so captivating. The legends of giants. The most fascinating aspect, however, are the local legends surrounding these structures. According to the oral traditions of the region, these giant jars were not created by ordinary humans. Stories speak of a race of giants who once walked the earth, beings of colossal proportions who shaped these vessels as if they were toys. Though modern science dismisses these mythological narratives, you cannot help but feel a sense of wonder when surrounded by these massive structures, especially when trying to imagine how they were extracted, transported, and positioned with the technology available in ancient times. Archaeologists estimate these jars were created between 500 BC and 500 AD, meaning they've been in place for over 2,000 years. Throughout all this time, they've withstood wars, extreme climates, and the passage of time. Their persistence is silent testimony to a culture that valued durability and solidity in its works. Ketiga, Kyaiktiyo Pagoda, the golden rock that defies gravity. In Myanmar, atop a mountain 3,000 feet high, there exists a phenomenon that seems to directly defy the laws of physics as we understand them. It's called Kyaiktiyo, known in the West as the Golden Rock, and it's perhaps one of the most perplexing places in the ancient world. The miracle of gravity. Imagine an enormous granite rock, approximately 50 feet tall and weighing hundreds of tons, precariously balanced on the edge of a cliff. Upon this monumental rock, devotees have built a small golden temple, and the rock itself has been covered with sheets of gold that gleam in the tropical sun. What's extraordinary is not just the construction, but the position of the rock. It's literally on the edge, as if at any moment it could roll down the hillside, plummeting into the abyss. Yet for centuries, it has remained in place. Pilgrims, scientists, and skeptics have visited this site, hoping to witness the moment when gravity finally prevails. But year after year, generation after generation, the rock remains. Engineer after engineer has studied its position, searching for rational explanations. Is there a hidden foundation supporting it? How has it maintained its balance for centuries? Photographs and measurements suggest that the point of support is remarkably small in relation to the weight of the rock. The legend of Buddha's hair. For believers, the explanation is more poetic and mystical. According to legend, the Kyaiktiyo rock is held in place by a single hair of Buddha, sacred hair, possessing miraculous resistance. This narrative transformed what might simply be a geological accident into a site of profound spiritual significance. Thousands of pilgrims visit Kyaiktiyo each year, not primarily to study its physical balance, but to experience what they consider a living miracle, a tangible manifestation of the divine. Faith and science meet at this point. While geologists can offer explanations about rock formations and natural support points, the beauty of the place lies in how it has inspired devotion for centuries. The mystery persists because, despite our modern knowledge, the rock remains visually enigmatic. It seems impossible that it should remain in place, and yet it does. For Wat Samphran, Thailand. The Pink Dragon Temple. When you first see photographs of Wat Samphran, you might swear it's a Hollywood creation, a fantasy construction designed for an epic movie. However, it's completely real, located in Thailand, and it's perhaps one of the most unusual and mysterious temples in all of Asia, a tower of color and chaos. The temple consists of a 17-story tower painted brilliant pink, around which is coiled a giant dragon. The dragon serpentines around the structure in an eternal dance, its scales detailed, its eyes gleaming, and its mouth open as if about to release a roar of fire. It's theatrical, it's extravagant, and it's completely different from any other religious structure you've seen. Most surprisingly, there are no clear records of who designed this structure, when it was exactly built, or what the legend behind it is. This is profoundly unusual in the context of Thai Buddhism, where most temples have well-documented histories, known patrons, and clearly defined purposes. Wat Samphran simply exists, as if it sprang from the ground without explanation. The mystery of authorship. Some speculate it was built by an eccentric monk with considerable resources, someone who had an unconventional vision of how a religious temple should look. Others suggest it's a contemporary construction, though local stories typically predate it. Tourists who visit Wat Samphran often find themselves bewildered by its almost surreal appearance. Is it a temple? Is it a monument? Is it an artistic statement? The truth is that Wat Samphran represents something important, the originality that persists in ancient cultures, the ability to create something unique and challenging without needing to fit into predefined molds. Its mystery is part of its charm. Without a clear narrative, visitors can project their own interpretations onto its meaning. 5. My son, Vietnam. The secrets of the Cam bricks. In central Vietnam, among lush mountains and tropical vegetation, there exists a complex of ruins dating back to the Cam dynasty, a civilization that flourished in what is now southern Vietnam and Cambodia. The sanctuary of my son consists of more than 70 architectural works, including temples and towers, all constructed with an extraordinary material. Intricately joined red bricks, the architecture of mystery. What makes my son particularly enigmatic is not just the scale of construction, but the technique used. The temples are built with red bricks, joined in a way that has challenged archaeologists and construction experts for decades. The binding material used between the bricks remains not fully identified. Was it a special mixture of clay, a secret formula, an organic compound now lost? Furthermore, the brick firing method remains a mystery. When archaeologists analyze the bricks from my son, they find they possess characteristics of durability and resistance that seem to exceed what should be possible with ancient firing techniques. The chemical composition of the bricks suggests that the Cam possessed sophisticated knowledge of materials and manufacturing processes, lost techniques, and guarded secrets. The construction method itself is equally mysterious. How did the Cam builders coordinate hundreds of bricks? How did they ensure structural stability without steel frames like we use today? Experts have studied the ruins for years, searching for patterns that might reveal the secrets of Cam construction. They've found evidence of remarkable precision, advanced mathematical calculations, and a deep understanding of how to distribute weight and forces through complex structures. What's fascinating is that this knowledge disappeared almost completely when the Khmer Empire declined and was absorbed by Vietnamese and Chinese influence. These construction secrets were lost. The Khmer never formally documented their techniques, or if they did, those documents were lost to history. All that remains are the ruins themselves. Silent temples that testify to a knowledge that must now be reconstructed and speculated from fragments of physical evidence. My son is a reminder that history is, in essence, an incomplete mystery. We can study what remains. We can speculate and theorize, but we'll never have the complete story. The truth about how the Cham mastered their craft will remain one of archaeology's great unanswered questions, the common thread. What can we learn? As we examine these 5 extraordinary sites, a pattern emerges. Each one represents something that our modern societies have lost or never had. A level of dedication willing to invest years, decades, or generations in a single construction. The builders of Angkor Wat didn't work, expecting to finish quickly. They were willing to labor their entire lives on a project that their grandchildren would complete. The Cham perfected their brick techniques over generations, refining and improving until they achieved a quality almost impossible to replicate today. Moreover, these places remind us that our understanding of the past is limited. We believe that modern technology has allowed us to fully understand how our ancestors lived and built, but these sites suggest there is much we still don't know. Each archaeological discovery raises new questions. Each scientific analysis reveals new complexities we hadn't anticipated. Conclusion: mysteries that endure. The mysteries of Asia are not simply historical puzzles awaiting solution. They are invitations to humility, acknowledgments of the limits of our knowledge. Angkor Wat, the Plain of Jars, Kyaiktiyo, Wat Samphran, and my son persists as mute witnesses to civilizations that understood something we may have forgotten. The importance of creating things that endure, of attempting feats that seem impossible, of leaving a legacy that inspires wonder in future generations. These places ask us the right questions. Not, how did they do it? Exactly. But what are we missing to understand how they did it? And in that difference lies all the magic of archaeology, all the beauty of history, and all the potential of future discoveries still waiting in the ruins and mysteries of the ancient world. If you ever get the chance to visit these sites, do it. But even if you don't, carry with you the lesson they teach, that the ancient world was far more sophisticated, far more mysterious, and far more astonishing than our history books often suggest. And that truth is perhaps the greatest mystery of all.